Corrine Miller, storyteller number 3. Okay, hello. So what's your name?
Corrine Miller.
How long have you lived here?
Since 1960.
That's a long time.
What brought
That's a long
you
time.
and your family here?
Yes.
What brought you here? What brought you here and your family here?
Well, it was a good location, and the little country school house closed just the year we moved to a 40-acre acreage. So it was either haul the oldest daughter or move somewhere where it was more convenient. And Delmar, this location was for sale. We bought it, moved here, and I'm still there.
We already asked that. What was your life like when you were here? When you were growing up?
Farm girl. Farm girl, went to Springbrook to school, 8th grade, and then it was farm. You worked. Whether it was chores, chickens, cows, whatever, pigs.
We're about to get some pigs.
We're what?
We're about to get some pigs over at our house.
Oh.
What are your favorite memories from growing up?
Oh gosh. My favorite memories. Well, we raised most of our food, meat, milk, eggs, garden, and it was always a lot of fun to see garden, the crop, or what would you call it, the vegetables grow. Then as they grow, gardening, pretty soon you could pick beans, you could pick peas, you could eventually.
I love eating raw green beans. Straight out of the farm.
Kids do.
Farm with a team of horses.
Yeah.
And then comes the pickles. We canned whatever we could. Beans, pickles, and we had fruit trees. We canned. Years ago, we had no electricity, no running water.
Yeah.
And then when we moved to Delmar, it was running water, bathroom in the house.
Electricity.
And yes, we had electricity up there, but no running water. And when we had a toilet in the house, a bathroom, and plenty of room for the girls as they came along. We had, let's see, Cheryl, Jacqueline, Luann, and Vicki. We had 4 girls when we moved to Delmar. And then we had 3 more after we moved to Delmar, which made 7. Is that about that?
7 daughters.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them how far you walked to school.
3.5 miles. We walked. We had to go to a Catholic school. We went past the public school, but we had to go. We were Catholics, and Dad said you got to go to a Catholic school. 8th grade.
So you walked 3.5 miles to school?
Each
and
way.
when we got there, we knew we had how you got back home was walk back home. And it was a stretch. And when it was cold, oh my gosh. And mud roads, no gravel, mud roads. You either tried to walk in a field or just made the best of it.
Did you ever get to bring like sleds to school to ride down your hills in the snow?
Well, some kids did, but the sisters didn't allow it because of injuries. They were reckless. They'd run into one another or knock somebody off the sled so they could get the sled. No, the sisters didn't allow it. Oh, you could play games. That was about it.
What was it like at your school?
Well, no hot lunches or anything. You brought your lunch and
What'd you carry your lunch in?
tobacco pail, a syrup pail. These kids nowadays don't know, but it would be like a gallon pail. My grandpa smoked pipe, so we had a tobacco pail to carry our lunch in. So no, you didn't
I know
buy
what those are
a lot of
because
things.
My papa smoked pipe too.
So we used to have like multiple schools around Delmar, or was it just like the one?
Just like here,
this.
but they had high school. Yet when I think they had
Junior
high
high and high
here,
school.
or
Yeah,
when
high
we moved here, and then when you had to go to Elwood, the next little town
There was a high school there.
Junior high and high school.
is see I don't. But you girls, well, did you
We were
ride
bused.
the bus or how'd you get to
Yeah,
Elwood?
we were-
Oh, okay.
How
nothing convenient, you know, if you walked, you walked.
What memories do you have about? Did you ever go to Bam Bam's when you were a kid? Bam Bam's down there.
The
But-
taverns,
there.
Yeah.
I had not money to, and I didn't.
That was Winship Groceries.
Oh, Winship, yes, I went to the grocery store. You could walk, and the girls
So
and
there
I.
used to be a grocery store?
Mm-hmm.
Because
We
Bam
could-
Bam's was a bar,
Right,
and before that there was a grocery store and a motel.
Yep.
Well, there was a hardware store.
yes, the hardware store.
I think
My
my
grandpa-
grandpa.
We
My
had a
grandpa
lot
had
of
one of those.
convenience here, you know, you could walk. Church,
Locker.
school, yeah, locker,
So
all. We live on the north end, and it was a little stretch to walk, but then so what? If you needed groceries, you could walk to the grocery store and get what you needed. And if it was too heavy to carry, they delivered the groceries right here in town.
so how has Delmar changed over time?
Oh
We had
my gosh,
insurance.
changed. No taverns. We had 2 gas stations, or what do you call a gas
Yeah.
station?
Casey's.
Yeah, case,
And
Convenience.
guess
just the convenience store came after the 2 gas stations closed. And, oh, the changes. We had a lot of good things going for us, but
dance hall, hardware store.
yes, dance hall, everything.
Did you
That-
dance in the
that-
dance hall?
That's a park, oh yeah. We had
She went to dances there.
good bands come. Even Tom Owens from Cedar Rapids came one time. And Oklahoma Cowboys and, gosh, I can't remember, but the bands were all good to dance to. At that time, there was no television, no, you know, dance was a good entertainment. Usually Sunday night or Saturday night. And then when the weddings were, oh my gosh, the place was packed. All the relatives, everybody came in.
That sounds pretty nice.
It was.
So did they ever like have downtown, like apartments?
Yes, there
business
were
street?
apartments. The lady that, the telephone, the
Minnie
lady,
Renrod.
she was upstairs. The apartment is still there, but not, I don't think it's even lived in, being used or anything.
There are a few apartments around around town.
Minnie Renrod.
Yes, that's the lady. Yeah, we had beauty shop, and I just couldn't remember
Was
when
there a barber
Jacqueline says.
shop?
Insurance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had an insurance fella, and I think where Mary's Kitchen was, wasn't that a restaurant to begin with?
That was bank.
Or,
bank insurance. Remember?
Some days
Harley's.
I can remember much more than others, and then again especially in the evening, I'm a blank.
And then
Mornings I'm a little fresher.
you had Miller Electric.
So like,
Oh yeah, my husband was an electrician. We had Miller Electric and Berthel Electric. 2 electricians in town. Now we,
competitive with sales.
They were busy all the time.
oh yeah. Of course, you know, at that time, a lot of people were getting electricity put in that never had electricity, and they were busy.
That sounds interesting. What were some like pretty big events in town, Delmar? Like
4th of July.
Delmar
Did they have
Centennial.
fireworks?
Like-
Or-
there, I heard we have like a really old newspaper about a bank robbery a long time ago.
The Centennial, I think, was about the biggest. I saved the paper for years, and I don't know.
1972, the Centennial.
And that was, well, and then of course your churches usually had served a meal once a year. You know, they're gonna have money too. Keep going. But anymore, like church dinners, they have a dinner, but our church, the Catholic Church, I don't think have dinners anymore. Or they go to Buzzy's. Buzzy will give a meal.
Where's Buzzy's?
Buzzy's is in Welton.
Yeah, we've been. My family's
A
been down
tavern
there.
and a
Restaurant.
restaurant all in one.
If you could leave Delmar, would you?
If I'd what?
If you could leave Delmar,
where would you?
Would you?
Would you?
Would
No, I said, I'm staying here till the undertaker takes me, and that'll be underground someday. I'll be underground. Is that the way to put it? I'll be underground.
6 feet under.
Yeah, and I
Something
tell
like
you, this is so convenient. We have a nice big garage, and I've always had cattle, chickens,
Milk cows by hand.
yeah, milk cows by hand. And so we had meat, milk, and eggs, which wasn't a problem. It was always there, and plenty of it.
We
sounds
over
pretty
at my house we have like 3 garages. We have a shed over there, a garage by our house, and then a lower garage where we put like my dad's friend's boat, our bikes in the winter and stuff. And then he puts our motorcycles, because my dad has motorcycles, and then Zach's has motorcycles, and then Dustin Brewster and Pat Coobs. Do you have anything else you want to tell us, or like about your history in Delmar?
Well, the 7 girls,
Do some of them still live here?
she does right next
Oh.
door. But the 2 oldest ones were nurses. Let's see, Jacqueline, Luann, and Vicky. Vicky moved to Wisconsin. Devon lives just outside of Delmar, a couple of miles. Jane lives in Dubuque, the second youngest, and the youngest lives in Macokota. And only one isn't married, Jane in Dubuque. She went to the university in Dubuque and liked Dubuque and stayed there, so, but no, I just, this is home. I said, and I'm going to stay there as long as I can until I get hauled off, and that's it. Because I have a big enough house I can entertain when the kids come. Now the second oldest came from Missouri. I've got an upstairs. They don't need to go to a motel, and it just seems to be nice if they can stay with me. They're only here for about a day and a half or 2, and it's really nice. But no, it seems like as if the years have gone so fast that I can't imagine. I used to always chores, babysitting, whatever I could do, but I loved my chores because I said that was my vacation. To the barn in the morning, back to the house. In the evening, to the barn, back to the house. And of course, I didn't have an automatic washer and dryer for years.
You have the thing where you have a big tub of water and then that thing where you scrub the clothes on?
Years ago, my grandpa and grandma did. But
She had a ringer washer.
I've always had, with a ringer washer and rinse tubs. And now I've got an automatic washer and a dryer. And oh my gosh, is that a back saver? Oh, my husband always said, you're never going to have an automatic washer. They don't wash the clothes clean. They take too much water. And a dryer, you can hang it outside on the line.
Yep.
We have a line in our yard too.
And isn't that nice when
And
the
we did.
weather's nice?
We only
Even in
hang
the
our
winter.
blankets on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when the weather's nice, it's really good to just dry it out that way in the summer.
Oh,
Sometimes when they hang too low, I just bring a couple blankets out and stack them on, and I lay on the blankets. I tie them onto a thing.
just play, what did the Indians used to do?
Teepee.
Have a teepee and just live outside.
I stayed outside one night when it was really hot out.
You did stay outside overnight. I'd be a little scary. I used to tell the girls, you don't know, we live right along the road. Should somebody stop? I don't know, it's not as free living. I never used to lock the doors, but I sure do now. And after last
About
week,
what happened in Macokota a
Last
couple days
week?
ago.
but they said they came through Delmar, did they?
Yeah, they did, but the cops found them back in Macokota because they stole a car, and they put the Delmar and Macokota schools on lockdown.
Right.
Till then the
They
cops
stole the
got
car?
them like 2 hours after.
And I thought that's safety because you don't know. Every so often they would say the car used to drive around, and when school was out, pick your kids up or keep an eye on them because.
We can just walk home since we live 3 houses down.
Yeah, it's pretty safe. And another thing, if you see someone sitting parked and just eyeing to pick kids up or something, either tell somebody or, well, of course, they
My
say.
dad's very protective over us.
run to the nearest house. Well, church is, and then yours.
Or the catechism house.
Yes, then yours is next. So to be safe, that's the main thing.
Were you guys able to ask Corrine what she wanted for the future of Delmar?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay, cool. I
Oh,
just
yeah.
wasn't in here.
If we could get a nice restaurant, or they say,
A retirement house.
yes, Casey's, they serve food, but you can stand or take it home. Where,
She
you
wants an
know,
inside restaurant.
a little restaurant would be
Like
very nice.
Applebee's.
But there again, the expense of buy the ground, the building, and to run it. You know, how many hours you gonna run it? Some people say 8 hours is a plenty if you're having a restaurant. And then the food, you better get discount food because it's so expensive that you gotta make ends meet. You gotta have enough for your electricity, your insurance, your whatever, you know.
Ask,
It's
what
pretty
school is
expensive.
number one?
What?
Which school is number one? Elementary school in the state of Iowa.
The school.
This school right here.
Delwood.
Delwood Elementary
Oh,
School.
things look so different than when you kids come to school. There's more on the wall. I don't know, it's
She has 2 great-grandchildren attending school here.
right.
Which is it? Shelby and Dylan.
Yeah,
Got that right.
we still have part of the high school.
Mm-hmm.
Like the locker room.
Yeah, the locker rooms are over in the gym, and then was the basketball court here when the high school was here?
Yes.
The basketball court. We have like a safe room for tornado drills or stuff.
That's
We go down-
basically the
yeah,
older
the
shelter.
locker room.
Which is good.
Mhm.
We don't have too many tornadoes, but, oh, what would
All it takes is
Trulson
one.
down by Clinton? It took all the buildings, but
Last spring.
not the house, but the windows on the east side of the house, it took them.
It took down the garage. We had
Well, let's
a
see,
daughter That was 2, and twins were just 1 year old.
oh gosh, the
And they
youngest
couldn't get in
Trulson
their vehicle, nothing.
teaches
And they're
in
in the rural
DeWitt.
Yeah.
I think his wife teaches in DeWitt too. But how sad. I mean, all the buildings, the cattle were strewed around. Some had
in
boards pierced
Twister.
into them, and that was down by Clinton. Oh, how far from Goose Lake? Not too far.
About 6 miles.
And oh, that was sad and scary. But they went to the basement because they said that it just looked terrible. They went to the basement. When they come up, they said they could not believe. And just before dark, now you round up cattle and see, I don't think they had hogs at the time, but it just no power. And then neighbors came in and they said, well, you can stay with us tonight, you know. But they said, we just don't know where to start.
A 2-year-old and a set of twins. And it took down their garage so they couldn't even get in their vehicles and go.
It wrecked the vehicles
In a
even,
rural area.
in the garage. Nothing drivable. And both teachers and the 3 little ones go to the babysitter, and it just, they said, where do you start? It's sad. And then to replace, they say, have insurance. Insurance doesn't give you the full amount to put back what you lost.
Yeah.
Never do.
Okay.
What do you guys think? Do we need to know anything else?
Would
I
you
think we
like
got a really
a
good
greenhouse here? Like if they could build a greenhouse over by where the old volleyball or old park used to be?
Oh, over there by the city
Yeah,
park.
right next to the city.
Tell them you bought your
Park.
plants at the hardware store. Gardening.
Oh wait, Aiden.
Oh, yeah,
Hey, don't kick the underside of that chair because it'll pick up on the microphone.
the appliance.
No, the hardware store where you bought cabbage and tomato plants.
Oh, yeah, and anything you needed. It just really was our hardware store was so valuable. And of course, well, the locker was valuable too at the time. The locker's where that trailer house is don't go down to the post office.
On the post
It's-
office street. Yeah.
There's a house there now, I think.
And
So many things have changed.
Yeah, a lot.
Like,
I've
and-
heard a lot about how it has changed and how it's different now.
like in
And
Elwood, there used to be, there used to be a hardware store, Hamilton's, in Elwood.
see that?
Do you know where the post office was?
No, she
I didn't drive, so unless the girls would tell me, you know, I didn't drive. And home was really home. I mean, you stayed there because you had so much to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And see, the new addition, the houses, well, the bank, and then there's new houses all the way up around there.
Mm-hmm.
Is there new houses somewhere else?
That's about it. And we're landlocked.
And then,
There's-
you know where the Telfaros live? They're making a barn or something like that.
A big shop.
Yeah.
We're rebuilding a barn right next to our house.
And that's here in town?
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
I either put it on the radio or newsletter or put it in.
And she writes out a lot of cards. Tell them that you write to all the people. Everything is
I
snail
love
mail.
anniversaries, birthdays, get well. I write cards, and I love to do it. And I said, a roll of stamps, it looks like the little mailbox down by the post office. And I keep pulling out of there, and I can tell when they pull out real easy, get a refill. No, it's so peaceful and quiet. I do watch some television, but not a whole lot. The radio is on from before I get up till I go to bed. Radio's a great company.
What do you listen to on the radio?
Anything that comes along. And I
No,
said,
what
it's
station?
KMAQ, but it isn't quiet, you know. I don't like it real quiet. That's something, other than the bugs flying around. Oh, do anybody know what box elder and
Yeah, we have box
No,
elder
we have-
problem over there.
Oh,
We used to have
they
a box
are
elder
just-
problem, but now it's not nearly as bad as it
No,
was
they're not as
last
bad,
time.
but they fly around the light, usually. Oh, I don't
So
like
do
the things.
moths.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we used to have like a moth at the playground like one time and everybody was freaking out about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is, you know, they fly in your hair and then you carry them in the house, or I bet school has, you don't need to let them in. Somehow they're in here. They don't need a very big crack. Have you ever noticed? What is it, the box elder flatten out a
Yeah.
little more than a thickness of a piece of paper that they can get through?
Our little brother, he loves killing bugs, so if he sees a bug on the wall, he'll go over there, go like, and hit it, and then he'll try to kill it, and then he'll take it out to the garbage and throw it away.
Well, that's better than eating it.
Awesome.
Well, that's free extermination.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, do you guys want to thank Corrine for her
Yep.
time?
Yeah,
And
thanks
I'm
for
glad I
coming.
met you boys. Gosh, and you're local, come to school after 6th grade. You can only stay here till 6th grade.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your
last year for
plan?
me.
Are you in 6th grade?
Yep.
What's
Okay,
your plan?
I'm probably gonna go to Makokota Middle School.
Yeah, I'm going to Makokata after this year since I'll be in 7th.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Have you ever been thinking about going, well, of course you gotta enroll,
Open. Enroll.
to DeWitt, Goose Lake?
Northeast.
But yeah, I'm all mixed up. See, if they'd leave things the way they were years ago, I can remember. But now, Preston, what is it, Sebula?
Princeton.
Miles, they combined some of these, and they changed the name. Well, then when they give who's getting out early, I gotta keep thinking now, who's getting out early,
radio.
you know? The radio will tell you. And you get out early 2 days next week or the week after?
Because parent-teacher conferences, and then we don't have school on Friday next week.
You know, do your parents have to come in and have a conference? If you're a good kid, will they still have to come in?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
gosh.
more about grades, actually. Like,
Oh, it's compared, okay. And
Last
your
year
grades?
I got, because usually I have good grades, but last year I have straight A pluses.
Good,
#1 school.
good. And you're 5th or 6th?
Last year I was 4th. Now I'm 5th.
5th. Good teachers is what gets a lot of it. And you gotta pay attention and you gotta be willing to learn. Store some up here because it gets harder and harder.
And
Have you
next
thought
year will
about
be
that?
the hardest one.
Yeah.
Mr. Kavanaugh makes it really easy. Yeah, the
We
Mr.
did math
Kavanaugh's the
Olympiads
6th
this year, and
grade.
it was not easy.
But he's busy coaching and he's, what
Yeah,
else?
he has
basketball,
time for
baseball,
school.
foot-
He has time for school.
No, not football.
Oh, he has time for
Wait,
school.
yeah, football for
Football is
high school.
Friday nights, like after school.
Yeah.
Well, most of the time, unless it's an away game, then he leaves like 2 hours early.
Yeah, he does football, basketball, baseball.
How can you keep track of all of that? He must be a smart man himself.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
football is at different times than baseball and basketball.
Yeah, because football ends and then basketball starts.
Around
And
that
then
time.
soccer, you gotta fit that in there somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, baseball. Oh, I just,
I do baseball and football and sometimes wrestling for Midland.
Yeah,
that's right, wrestling's in there yet too.
Yeah, he's really good at math, so I'm sure he uses math and calculations to figure out how to fit all that in.
You have to.
I can only do 2 sports a year though, but they won't let me do wrestling anymore because I have fragile ankles.
Yes, wrestling I think is very hard on the body. The twist, the turn.
You could get cabbage ears if you get hit too much in the ear.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
It all, you know, you just gotta just know what to do. Well, even football. They pile up on top of you. You wanna be the bottom guy or the
I piled up on people
Oh,
because I was a nose guard.
but if you're on the top, you're okay. But the bottom, I don't know. He's had a rough time.